Welcome to our guest, Brian Chesky, who is the co-founder and CEO of Airbnb. Brian, nice to see you.
Oh, thank you, Andy. Nice to see you.
So I guess let's just take a big swing question first. What was it like when coronavirus started to unfold and you started realizing the impact on the company and the business?
You know, we started the company over a decade ago, and I thought that was the craziest experience of my professional life. And for many years, I said, I'll probably never experience something as crazy as starting Airbnb. And in March, I think we experienced that. We spent 12 years building our business, and within 6 weeks, lost about 80% of it. And when a business drops that quickly, not only there's this feeling of losing much of what you've created, but things start breaking, right? Like suddenly guests wanted more than $1 billion of refunds, and you can't really plan for pandemic related refunds because people are counting on that money to pay their rent or pay their mortgage. And so it just kind of felt like you're like on a ship and you just get sideswiped, and it was incredibly intense. It felt like everything was breaking at once.
So where do things stand right now? And maybe even more important, how do you even begin to manage things going forward?
Yeah, well, the thing is really good to point out is that Airbnb is in 190 or so countries.
Yeah.
And so we kind of get to see the experiment of different countries' approaches play out, because we're also very large, say, in Italy. And Italy also had a huge surge around the same time the United States did. And now Italy it seems like, it's a little different place. And what we're seeing in the United States is that the United States had a definite initial recovery. And it's now, I think, we're going to expect it to slow down. But one of the things we're seeing is a totally different way that people are traveling. Before COVID, people traveled a lot for business. They got on airplanes, they crossed borders, and they went to big cities. And in those cities, they stayed in these central hotel districts. And now a whole bunch of things are happening. People are saying they do want to get out of the house, regardless what country they're in. They do have this need to get out of their house, but they aren't right now super comfortable getting on airplanes. They want to get on cars, and they want to travel not more than 300 miles away or 200 miles, a tank of gas. They're going for leisure. They're going to not big cities. They're going rural. They want to get outdoors. They want to discover the outdoor communities. And most of all, they're looking to stay in homes. And so that has been a surprise to us, maybe the extent that we've seen demand come back. What I mean by that is the last few weeks, we've seen volumes of business that are actually the same size volume as a year ago. When it was April, or even beginning of May, I could have never, ever imagined that it would have been that resilient. And this may be pent-up demand. I think you're seeing a little bit of it. I think one of the things you're seeing is people are sheltering in place in other homes. So they're basically saying work from home is now work from any home, and maybe I want to get a different home on an Airbnb. So they're getting longer term stays.
Do you think that COVID has changed the competitive landscape, giving either them or you more of an advantage?
Travel is changed forever. The world of travel as we knew it in January is never coming back. It's never coming back. I feel very confident about that. What I'm not totally sure about is what is going to come back. And that's just guessing the future. But it's pretty easy to know once hundreds of millions of people experience Zoom and they realize they don't need to travel for work, people will travel for work again, just not everyone. Some people are going to realize now they can do this thing. A whole bunch of people who thought they had to get on an airplane and go to a city and stay in a central district realizes, well, there's 400 national parks in the United States, and I live near one, and maybe I should go see a natural park. And suddenly you can't undo all this knowledge.
Yeah. I want to ask you about social and racial justice, the social protests. First of all, have you guys done enough at Airbnb? I mean, you made some donations, but do you need to have more diversity at your company?
I'm not sure if you were to ask 100 CEOs, have you done enough on racial diversity? If anyone would feel comfortable saying yes, because I don't know who has done enough. Airbnb has not done enough. We need to do more. I am proud of the work we've done, but I kind of think we're all living through this history where we're all reliving the last year, 5 years, 10 years, and ask, what if I did more sooner? Every single one of us is now saying that. And I think there's a lesson there that we're probably 5 years from now going to say that about this moment now. I think internally we need to do more. We had a little bit of a setback with the layoffs because we disproportionately laid off non-technical people, non-engineers. And so we laid off fewer engineers than non-engineers. Engineers there are not many black engineers. And so our diversity was hit by disproportionately laying off non-engineers. And so we have a lot more ground to make.
Brian Chesky, CEO of Airbnb, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.